Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the final match of the EU Regional. Guys, I don't know how to tell you this. I am so excited. We have two teams here who have been fighting so hard. SK Gaming has an incredible story. They had the upset yesterday. Today they're going to have a chance to prove themselves against one of the most accomplished teams in the European scene. Meanwhile, Moscow 5 has a mighty title to defend. They have set themselves up as the team to beat today. And there is so much on the line. Both have qualified for Season 3. Both have qualified for the Season 2 finals in LA. But there is cash money on the line now, as well as seating. So I'm going to hand it to Jason in the audience. He's got one of our fans who have a pretty good idea who they think might win.
All right, thank you for that, Rachel. And so far, we've had a flawless guessing out of the audience. We've had 2-0 for CLG, and today we have someone else here to take his chances. Why don't you tell us who you are?
Well, I want SK Gaming.
Oh, no, sorry. Tell us your name.
No, Ant.
Okay, I can't say that. I tried. Okay, so yesterday we saw SK actually 2-0 CLG. We also saw Moscow 5 2-1 Fnatic. SK's been playing extremely well. They've actually been boot camping with Moscow 5. Who do you think will win this first map?
Well, SK Gaming, I want them to win this so badly, but Moscow 5 has been in this with some very interesting team compositions. I really want SK Gaming to win, but I think Moscow 5 is going to take it.
You want SK to win, but you think Moscow 5 is going to take it?
Well, I'm realistic.
All right, well, I guess we'll find out. Rachel, back to you.
Thank you so much. Now, it's what you've all been waiting for. Our top two teams. First, we have Moscow 5. And Moscow 5 has oranges. And their opponents from one of the oldest franchises in esports. Please join us on stage, SK Gaming. All right, captains, if you'll join me. Teammates, you can take your seats. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I saw SK Gaming doing a bit of a warm-up dance backstage.
Yes, we always do this.
Can we see a little sample right now?
No, I'm sorry.
It's a top secret warm-up dance. Now you guys, you don't have a warm-up dance. You seem very serious to me.
It's like, yeah, we're serious. We really want to win. We think that SK is really good at the moment. I think we're one of the best teams in Europe. So we will be really happy to win them.
That is quite the compliment. So, gentlemen, is there anything you'd like to say to each other before this match gets underway?
Not really much, just have a good game, and we'll see in Los Angeles.
Good luck, and let's make games entertaining.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Take your seats. Rivington and Freak are in the caster booth. Let's get this underway.
Thank you, Rachel. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the pinnacle of the weekend. The final matchup about to begin between the two undisputed top teams in Europe. The European Regionals for League of Legends Season 2 is about to go underway. I'm Rivington Bislin III. With me is Freak. Freak, this year is a cumulative, if you can say it. It's English. It's not German. The cumulative work that these teams have done. The blood, sweat, and tears, as I've said before, because it really is that. The training, the roster changes, the wins, the shutouts, and everything else in between. This is going to be an amazing matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these teams, I want to say a little bit of German, both these teams are ausgezeichnet. Both these teams are awesome. They are outstanding and amazing in every adjective that I could throw at them. They are so phenomenally good. And you know, D-Man asked me, you know, what teams could even stand up to this roster? We know that the three delegates from Europe are going to be SK Gaming, Moscow 5, and Counterlogic Gaming Europe. And he asked me, who from North America could beat them? And I was like, I don't know. I do know that some other teams might make it to the regional, but that's not who's going to beat Europe. So these guys are just so very good. We saw Ocelot putting his team on his shoulders in that semifinal match. We saw Ara carry that second game with that Baron steal in the quarterfinals. And we've seen Moscow 5 just kind of as a team being so very dominant. Now, SK, they haven't lost a map the entire weekend so far. M5, they've lost one, which is actually kind of rare form for them.
Yes.
But both these teams, they know each other very well. They've been practicing against each other for a very long time. So, they know each other in and out. How do you think that really plays into their strategies here?
Well, it's going to be very big. Obviously, we saw a huge Orianna play from Ocelot yesterday. That is definitely going to be banned out. Gragas has run rampant through the tournament with beautiful 1v1 play and team composition play. We should expect to see him banned out as well. The AP mids are definitely going to be focused here. Maokai is also going to be banned in the jungle. At least that's what I'm thinking, because it's just too strong with that composition of Ryze as well as Orianna.
Yeah,
Ahri as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of really popular champions between these guys. Demon and I were talking about the champions that Ocelot likes to play. He pretty much has a top 4 that he's going to kind of stay among. Orianna, Gragas, Anivia, and Twisted Fate. And I know that Moscow 5, Alex Ish, Twisted Fate, he said, was actually his favorite champion. It was actually like his #1 favorite champion, that he liked playing him the most. And, it's interesting because Twisted Fate is kind of like this opt-in sort of champion where, when teams know how to play him, the other guys have to ban it out every single time. Well, when you say, yeah, we're a Twisted Fate team, they're like, oh.
Well, even when he's not running Twisted Fate, he runs Teleport on Ryze.
Oh, yeah. That these guys have a lot of great adaptations. Moscow 5, when he had that Shen on his team, he ran Teleport, so that 2 members of that team could show up at a moment's notice to anywhere on the map, and that really snowballed that first game against Fnatic. For SK, Kevin has been on fire for 2 days straight. I think he's maybe had like 4 deaths in like 4 games, like total. He's been doing like ridiculously well. He's been thrown into 1v2s, does not care.
You'll have to question if they'll give him Gangplank.
Exactly. He's been the only guy who's run Gangplank this tournament, and actually the only guy who's run Gangplank at all in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
And he's been showing everyone up with that Pirate. So it's interesting because you've actually got teams that are running very different champions. Where, Ocelot, not a guy who plays Ryze, not a guy who plays Karthus, but Alex Ish is. He does play a very mean Karthus. So, not only are these guys sharing some of their popular champions as well, but they've kind of got their own distinct pools, the champions that they favor, that they've been practicing the most, that they want to bring into the team. And so it's going to be interesting kind of just to see how that pans out, because you can kind of have one-way bans, right?
Yep.
If you're SK and you ban Karthus, you're not limiting your own team's options. If you're Moscow 5 and you ban Lee Sin, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, these teams are making impact plays this weekend. We actually saw the game just previously. Xpeke was playing Ryze. He played the same build that Alex Ish does on Ryze, and he was still tanking through everybody. They weren't able to come out with a win, but you can just see what Moscow 5 is doing to this scene. That Haunting Guys build, the magic penetration before the mana build on Ryze to really synergize with your team and help them out as well. However, SK also bringing a new thing into the mix for themselves. They are very focused on buffs this game. Just yesterday in the semifinals, they prevented the team from getting 7 buffs. They had 7 in a row, including theirs, but that's denying 3 or 4 buffs to the other team with steals and with straight-on fights to deny the buffs as if they were objectives.
Yeah, SK game 1 against Counterlogic, the game you're referencing. Yeah,
yes.
They started out taking 3 of the 4 buffs, and then they actually did Shark the 4th, then they took the next 3 in the row. Again, I'm counting up to 7. I'm really just restating what you said. I don't know quite why that's the case here, but these guys do know how to play aggressively. That's actually one of the great things I think about this matchup is these are 2 very I love that sign, thank you. SK wins, deal with it. And the country flags for is that actually the entire roster? I feel like they have 2 Germans, 2 Spaniards, and then the 1 French player, of course. So that is all the flags. But both these teams very aggressive. Both these teams, Moscow 5 are the ones who kind of, I want to say they pioneered the heavy jungle invades and the just obsessive buff stealing, right? They're just obsessed with stealing. They set the support on roam sometimes to help the jungler steal more buffs, but SK, they kind of brought it back. They're the first team I've seen in a while really go all out about those steals. Of course, these teams play aggressively and they steal when they can, but SK, they said, no, we're going to make it a point our strategy is to steal these away. That's what we're going to try to do to counter Logic Gaming. And they're up against the team that invented that. So, you know, are they going to get stopped in their tracks? Are both teams going to get a red and a blue buff, but it's the other team's red and blue buff? Like, what? I mean, I've seen games like that where, like, both blues get stolen, but they're on the opposite side and they still go to the right champions. It's there's just a lot that could happen here. The slate is wiped clean. Both these teams just going into a single best of 3 for first place. And I think even more than the prize money, these teams, number 1, are fighting for pride.
Yeah, the pride of the European regionals. You are going to represent Europe in the League of Legends. The top 3 teams are going, but to be that first seed definitely means something so much more to these teams. As we look at some of the statistics, Freak, you were talking about Kevin. Kevin has only died 3 times in 3 matches on GP, and he was actually, in 2 of the matches, he was never killed.
Oh, man. Well, then he died 3 times in 1 game. Kevin, you're better than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, these guys, wow. Yeah, so Kevin, right, putting up amazing numbers. Ocelot put up an amazing performance as Orianna as well. And normally, you know, SK, I think they rely on Yellowstar a fair amount as well. He's a phenomenal attack damage carry. We saw him in the grand finals at the Season 1 championship. Of course, last year's Season 1 champions, Fnatic, knocked out just hours ago against Counter Logic Gaming. And actually right now, looks like the players are saying that they're almost ready to go. So we are just about to get into Champion Select in our final best of 3 of the weekend as we close out on Gamescom 2012 here in Cologne, Germany. It's about 2:10 in the afternoon here on Sunday. And we have some amazing action coming out for you guys.
It's going to be amazing. We have seen some of the supports coming out here. Gosu Pepper, M5 BenQ, really liking that Sona pick all weekend long. The Crescendo to just shut down the team fight. If they can also get Ryze in their favor, that's going to be a lot of crowd control. I think we may actually see a Zyra here as well. If they ban out Orianna, if they ban out those picks for Ocelot, he may pull out that Zyra.
I know Xpeka did at least once. I don't know if Ocelot's been packed in the champions. Zyra is a little bit new, and oftentimes, and not all the time, sometimes people will go for the run for it. But it's interesting because sometimes players will say, a tournament's in 2 weeks, a champion just came out. You know, do you spend those 2 weeks practicing a new champion?
Right.
And then showing up out of nowhere saying, by the way, guys, I know Zyra. There's almost a free win there. If they're not prepared for it at all, you pull it out as the 10th pick, and suddenly there's a team your opponents weren't expecting at all. Or sometimes you could say, 2 weeks is not enough time for me. I'm going to just keep rehearsing the champions that I know and get that last 10% and make sure I can play them phenomenally. And, you know, we might see a surprising pick out here. Of course, you're seeing SK's bans. Wow. Nothing surprising at all. Karthus and Lee Sin, which are really very selfless bans because, again, Ocelot just does not play Karthus.
Nope.
And Aura likes playing supporty, tanky junglers. So when you ban out Lee Sin and Shyvana, you know that's not that's not what he's looking at here.
SK has actually banned Karthus the first time they have had a chance every game. That first ban has always been Karthus for them. They do not want that in the game. And I am very surprised to see Gragas, Orianna, and Maokai still in these lineups.
Yeah, there's a lot of really awesome options here. And actually, I am a little bit surprised to see the new ban coming out from Moscow 5. With the Yorick ban, I think it's just baiting, the availability of Shen here. They're gonna grab that. Malphite, of course, still available. None of the attack damage carries have been knocked out. We rarely see Ezreal bans, but we do see him picked almost all the time. I actually remember going back to IEM Kiev, where the popular strategy was ban Sona and first pick Soraka, or it was ban Soraka and first pick Sona. And then the other team would grab out Janna in the end there. This time though, they're really not playing that sort of style where they ban out one of the carries to take the other. They are banning out some of the supports here, but the first pick here is on Shen. The early grabs here on Orianna and Janna. A lot of really good options here. And actually, Janna's been a rare pick here, so SK really wanted to bring that one out.
Yeah, Janna has been a real pick. It seems like all the team fights have really been just the initiation. Janna's able to break up that team fight and heal her team, so we'll have to see if that comes into play for them as well. It could come into big plays as Janna can really create a lot of things for her team as well. It's kind of like you are an exploding cast yourself from Gragas.
And I think it's actually a really good pick, even though Sona is getting grabbed right here. Sona's going to tend to initiate a little bit with that crescendo, and you're gonna need a way to break your opponents back out from you, because if you get the jump on your opponents, you've got the Shen Shadow Dash, you've got the crescendo from Sona, you can lock up an enemy team for an entire enemy team for 3 full seconds with that combination. As Sona gets locked in, they do have that synergy here. And so you actually want something like Orianna and like Janna that can say, okay, hold on, we got locked out. Let's push you back. Okay, let's get back. Let's take a breather. Come on, guys. Let's get back into position. And that's actually what we saw SK do against Counterlogic Gaming, is they would take a couple of deaths early on, but they got to kind of push the fight back and kite a little bit and make it happen. So, you know, both these teams kind of just picking things that are strong for themselves. And Moscow 5 not really even worried about that fight reset from Janna. Now maybe they can blow her up in a second flat, or maybe they're okay with taking a little bit of damage early, getting pushed back, and then going somewhere else.
And something that Ocelot is going to have to be very careful of. Yesterday we had the interview with Xpeke after they played M5 BenQ, and he said, I did not expect to be babysat by Udyr in middle. That huge play by Diamond Prox was able to shut down Xpeke. So Ocelot's going to have to be very careful, as Diamond will probably focus mid once again with that Udyr.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. You do, have a couple of issues here. Orianna is able to kite pretty well. The one good thing that she has against this Udyr is Udyr is full out melee. He has to run at you, hit you with his fist, has nothing ranged about him, except for the fact that he has flash. So if his flash is up, he can catch up to Ocelot pretty easily and stun that Orianna and combo in with his team. Moscow 5 with a couple of interesting thoughts here. I don't think Vayne would be a pick here at all. The fact that Malphite is here in this lineup, coming up with an Orianna, I don't see how Genja could survive here as Vayne. If he does it, I trust him. The guy's an amazing player, but I would be surprised to see Vayne come out here. But SK has such phenomenal initiation on their lineup. Orianna, it's going to be tough against Udyr. If he gets camped in mid, it's going to be very difficult. Twisted Fate, another option here. There's a lot of available picks here.
That will really help the assist mid. That's the crowd control coming from both Udyr and the yellow card from TF. I figured that was going to be his pick so they could get that hard CC as well. You can do it with Zyra as well. Get that slowdown. So they are going to lock in Zyra. They are going to lock in Ezreal. And those are going to be your AD carries and AP mids with Ocelot. Now he is to be picking that top lane for his team, unless that is going to be Malphite or jungle.
Yeah, well, he's up. If he is top lane, he's up against Shen, and I think Shen has a pretty good time of that matchup ultimately. And Shen's a very good 1v2. I wouldn't see SK doing a lane swap here. I think I'd rather have Malphite, picking up a 1v1. But yeah, I don't know if Malphite is really the best 1v1 against Shen. So I'm gonna predict that being a jungle. We saw way back when, we saw that Jace came out here and was played by Fnatic Soaz. But when he ran Jace against Moscow 5, Darien actually crushed really heavily in that matchup. So, we'll see what Kevin wants to run here. Kevin has been having a phenomenal run all tournament. Right now, he's thinking about Gangplank. It's going to be his 4th time on Gangplank, and he's done well every time he's grabbed it. That is going to be locked in. He's actually picked up Summoner Teleport as well. He's going to be all around the map being part of those fights.
That is an amazing ult composition. That Cannon Barrage into Orianna's ultimate, as well as Unstoppable Force, is so much front-end burst damage with Yellow Star on the outside with Storm Shield on from Janna, just continuously doing damage. However, we look at Moscow 5 BenQ for that composition, a lot of area of effect. Crescendo, Stranglethorn from Sona and Zyra. And then you have Shen coming in as well. If they're in the middle of the fight, he is going to be able to stop and mitigate that reinitiation from the team once they do hit the ground from Stranglethorn.
Yeah, Moscow 5's team can be summed up in one term: area of effect. If everyone on SK is grouped together, everyone's taken about 1,000 damage and is being stunned up by Shadow Dash, being stunned up by Sona's Crescendo, is going to get knocked into the air by Zyra's Stranglethorns. By that point, Ezreal must have shot an Arcane Barrage. I'd be very surprised if he hadn't by that point. And you just have Udyr kind of just running in, being just a harrier. He's going to just dive in there. He's going to be a dive buddy with Shen. He's going to jump in, try to push down Corki, try to push down Orianna, and we'll see if they can do that. Meanwhile, SK's lineup, all about hard initiation, where they have the Unstoppable Force to lead in. Everyone else can follow up very easily. Orianna is phenomenal at chaining in with initiating tanks. We're going to see how this game pans out. We're going to throw it to Rachel, and then we'll be right back.
Thank you so much. I hope you're ready for the first game of the final match. It's M5 BenQ versus SK Gaming. Gonna hand it over to Rivington and Freak.
And as we jump into our first of the final best of three, ladies and gentlemen, M5 then Q versus SK Gaming, the match you have all been waiting for, and possibly these teams as well to be your favorites. They are going to be moving on to Los Angeles. They already have a spot in Season 3, but here they vie for the top team in Europe.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing fight right now. These guys playing for the difference between $40,000 in first place and $30,000 for second, and a whole lot of pride. SK wants to prove themselves as the #1 team in Europe. Suddenly dethroning Moscow 5 is a potential result here. Moscow 5, I believe they're on 3 tournament wins, major tournament wins, almost in a row. Only upset once by Counter Logic Gaming at DreamHack. They're going for #4. They want to come in saying, yes, we are obviously the best team in Europe coming into the World Championship. And if they do win this series, no one's going to question Moscow 5's strength. SK, they've got a lot to prove. I don't think they've won a major tournament in the history of this team. They've come top 2 a couple of times. Yep. They got second place at IEM New York. They did very well, I believe, at IEM Gamescom last year. They had a couple of other good showings overall, but this could be SK's first real victory in the history of that team.
We do see a little bit of aggression. They're kind of just poking at the entrances to the opposing team's jungle. SK is still staying back, though. They do not want to give away any of their positions. Genja firing from Mystic shots over into that blue area. It looks like we are going to have a regular jungle pattern start. No, actually, Shen still taunting Orianna up by Wraiths.
Yeah.
To see how these two play that out.
Well, right now, SK doing a standard opening for themselves. Aura's going to open up with that Golem camp, but they're actually going to give Gangplank the Lizard buff. So you're going to see Kevin up there taking this out by himself. He's done this, I think, every game so far. He's run in with teleport and just grabbed that early on. Diamond actually going for a fast clear himself, has already gotten his own Lizard, running across the map, actually used Smite as part of it as well. Didn't want to get that stolen. You know, they saw what SK did to Counter Logic Gaming, and he said, nah, not again. Now Kevin, you're going to see, get himself up to level 2 as he finishes off this camp. He's going to be a little bit late into lane. Aura will take out the Raze, and then Kevin's going to have to fight up against Shen. And he's going to hope that Lizard buff is enough to win him that lane.
Very much so. He is going to be able to go into that Grog Soak blade, especially the red buff doing the double slow. So he is really going to be able to get a few more shots off before he regularly would in that lane, being able to parlay about 12 times a minute. He's going to be able to get 2 auto attacks in on that now.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really good overall. You see Diamond running back through his jungle. Actually, he didn't go for Golem. He's still level 2 right now. Yellowstar taking a lot of harass in this bottom lane. And Genja and Gozu Pepper already starting off this map exceptionally strong. You can see Darien having to hide out in the brush. He cannot 1v1 Kevin. And actually, Aura is waiting around as well on Malphite. They're going to move in. Darien getting slowed down. They're up onto the turret, getting him down to half health. He's going to get pushed on back. And Nif also getting harassed. Look at that damage output. Down to about 130 health. Moscow 5 really, really dominating right now in this bottom lane.
So much aggression from Genja, starting off with Boots Pots at 72 damage, so definitely throwing some extra AD in there for himself on the rune page. We'll have to see. That is really playing effect now, but will it help him later?
Right now, Ocelot just forced up against Alex in that 1v1. Trying to get rid of some of these plants. Taking a bit of damage. Look at the minions right here, and you've got 21 on Zyra and only 19 on Orianna. So right now, Alex, a little bit ahead overall in minions. You look at the bottom lane, and it's 23 on Ezreal to 10 on Corki. Moscow 5 definitely commanding on that lane as well. But 12 versus 15, a bit of an advantage here for Kevin at the top lane. So right now, it's shaping up that Moscow 5 is going to be looking for Genja for leadership in this game. And for SK, they're going to need Kevin to put out some great showing, just like he has yesterday.
Here comes Diamond Proc through the forward. Bush up top, and Ignite going down onto Ocelot as they get aggressive in mid, and he comes out. Phoenix Udyr, one of the faster jungles, and you can see him coming out of the lane at level 4 here. They may capitalize on first blood, and they will from the AoE damage of Phoenix.
Nice, and so Diamond with a nice bit of gold. We'll see if he runs for some early gold generation or an early aura gold and keeps the pressure up. But getting first blood as a jungler sets you so far ahead in items that you can just multiply the rate. Oh my gosh, Aura not gonna like this, has to flash away from that root that was gonna come out from Alex Ish's Zyra. But a jungler, you know, if you're in the lane and as long as your mechanics are sound, you're gonna get the same amount of gold every minute just because you can last hit very well. But as a jungler, coming in there and getting better items means you're relying on your own damage to kill out those jungle monsters, which means if you do get some early gold leads, you're going to be accelerating yourself really through the game and going to constantly dominate the competition. And Moscow 5, with a win in the bottom lane and now a winning jungler as well, they've set up 2 points on their team to really start commanding a lead.
Moscow 5 going super aggressive AD support lane. She did not buy ward, or Gosu Pepper rather did not buy wards. He went boots and pots with Genja. So they are going full force in this lane. They do not want to allow Corki to be able to farm whatsoever.
Yeah, I really only grabbed one for the possible jungle gangs. Other than that, yes, it's been all about fighting.
Right. Going
boots early, it's a bit tricky for supports. This is how Moscow 5 likes to play, though, is normally open up Fairy Charm, as you see Nif has done on Janna. That allows you 180 gold, that puts you 180 gold closer to buying an early Philosopher's Stone for passive gold generation. Support champions, support players, they typically don't last hit minions or kill champions, so their gold is a little bit lower than the rest of their team normally because of how they play the map. But they buy items that generate gold just by existing. You kind of pay a bit of a premium to buy that, but then it starts paying itself. You're kind of investing in your inventory. But Diamond did go for an early Oracles, and he is going for a flank here. SK forced back. Valkyrie's been burned. This is not good for Yellowstar because now Diamond is in the mix. He's going to stun up Nif. He's going to run over towards Yellowstar, but he's going to stay actually on this Janna. She's taking so much damage. The shield is on, but it's not going to be enough. Genja picks up the kill there, and Ara, only level 4, will not stop them.
Definitely a bit of tunnel vision there from the bottom lane of SK. He was able to get all the way in lane, and as you said, the Valkyrie was used while he was well in vision of that ward.
Yeah, so a phenomenal second kill here. Moscow 5 definitely determined to take this first place. And then we can recap the rest of these lanes. 50 to 48. Ocelot still is keeping up right now with Alex Each. This mid lane is neck and neck. Neither player has been able to roam around. Neither player has really built themselves any major advantages. Looks like Ocelot will be recalling right here. Alex has already finished a Chalice of Harmony, so he's just ready to keep spamming through this lane and stay in and gain gold. Ocelot going to go for a Golem buff that will let him do the same.
Very nice. Zyra grabbing up the wraiths, keeping herself sustained. Kevin taking a good amount of damage from Darien top here. Going down in that lane definitely allowed Darien to start getting a few more items, allow himself to level a little bit. However, Kevin is 6. He has been having to buy himself wards instead of spend money on things that he wants to buy. Darien, not yet backing, is already winning the lane. That's not looking good for Kevin.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's 40 to 53 in minions there. Moscow 5 really just pushing themselves ahead by force of will, really. They've got those 2 early kills, and that has gotten them about 1,000 gold as a result. But you're seeing a 2,000 gold disparity, and that is because the rest of the team is just performing. Diamond's gotten his team 2 kills, an excellent job by him. He's really controlling the pace of this one. But just in the lanes themselves as well, all of Moscow 5 are really putting up a great performance.
Genja getting pressured down by Zephyr from Janna. Yellowstar just continues to last hit. They don't even really want to poke him. They just continuously want to CS, obviously zoning him out somewhat. Alex Each once again grabbing wraiths, trying to keep that CS up. 70 to 59 now versus Ocelot. Diamond Prox grabbing a very early Oracles. He will start sweeping the top side of the jungle.
And he's going to move in. Orianna has already moved towards the back. She's actually waiting for the wolves to respawn right now. This is actually going to sneak around. Oh, Yellowstar and Nif both taking a lot of damage. Nif actually still being attacked here by Genja. Dropped very low. And Ocelot, no, actually went for an attempt to lane sneak at the right-hand side. He's gotten all the way around through the jungle. He took a very long route to make sure he was not revealed by wards. They just pinged where they think Moscow 5 has a ward themselves. They're going to move in. They pull in Gosu Pepper. She's only level 6 with me. She has her ultimate. Lands it on 3. Nif going to fall down. Now Genja, can he make this happen? Ocelot still up in the mix. Going to actually force himself out right now. Moscow 5 in a full 2-on-3 said, counterattack? Sounds fun. He picked up that kill on the Niv. An excellent job right there.
Here we can see Alex Each backing right in front of the jungler. In front of that RNA as he continuously soaks up that CS in mid. Getting a little bit of harass here from Diamond Prox. They join together, and it looks like Diamond Prox pushing the lane, so they waste this CS for Ocelot. Darien, or RNA rather, going to be there to pick it up.
Yeah, Kevin's still trying to keep himself alive in this lane. He is a level down on Darien's Shen. And here we go, Moscow 5 starting up now on the Dragon. 3,000 gold up. This kill would put them at 4,000 gold into the lead. They are absolutely commanding right now in this game.
Darien doing an amazing job top lane. against Kevin. 73 CS during the time that he was down to Kevin's 50 CS now. And he almost has a 10-minute Sunfire Cape.
Wow, that is going to be brutal right there. Yellowstar is keeping himself up there, 2,200 gold. They've got 4 members of SK above 2,000, but there's 4 members of Moscow 5 above 3,000. So there is definitely a big lead here. This early game has been so commanding. I feel like I'm repeating myself every time, but they keep doing more and more just impressive things here. Darien trying for the Lizard Steal, gets spotted out, so he just backs off and he's like, I still have full health and energy, not a big deal. I tried to steal it, didn't work, but maybe I'll just come back and screw with Aura some more. Aura gonna get taunted up in this jungle. He's not gonna like this very much. He will get the smite take. Darien couldn't put the ignite on Kevin, gonna push in for some damage. He will flash over the wall. Ocelot will not be able to stop that. But Nif in a bad way. Yellowstar as well. One hit from Dead, flash in from Diamond. The shield is on. Exhaust as well, but he's gonna die to the AoE damage from Phoenix. And here we go, Alex taking a lot of pressure as well. Ocelot cannot quite chase in.
Possibly looking not up, though. The unstoppable force to come out there from RNA, but he was not there to grab it. Alex Ish once again going to go ahead and grab Wraith, possibly back after this. No, he stays. The mid lane resets, and he's able to grab himself some more CS there. Genja freezing that lane at the 75% mark, just past River. More than happy to farm there. And you can see how there's a very deep ward past SK's red, and they can see where RNA is now.
All right, but you can see now there's a kill at the bottom, and they jumped in on Nif right away. He is not level 6, so he could not push Udyr back. And you just saw him chasing in, running, landing a stun, going for the other target, landing another stun, turning around. You see that perfect timing on Bear Stance. A 3rd stun in a row onto Nif. The exhaust not going to matter enough. A great kill overall picked up by Diamond. Still running the oracles and still controlling everything on this map.
So right now, Moscow 5 holding a very good lead on this game. They are up by 4,000 gold, which is still anybody's match. But if they continue to do this, it's going to be very hard for SK to come back. They do have that objective already. Very nicely done there. It is going to Dragon up at 16 minutes. And if they can keep this gold in their favor, I believe it's more spread out throughout the entire team. 2 kills on Diamond Prox, getting first blood and second as well. And then we saw Genja coming up with some big kills. So you can see most of the team over 3,000 gold right now. A lot of SK Gaming is still under that 3,000 gold mark.
Yeah, and just the level advantage as well is a very, very big deal here. Everyone on Moscow 5 has participated in a kill except for Alex, but Alex has the highest minion kills in the game by a huge margin. He is 30 over Ocelot, and he is 20 over anyone else on his team as well. Everyone else in Moscow 5, they have kills or assists, so everyone's getting pretty rich. Overall, it is spread out just because they are all participating in a lot of great acts that's putting them in the lead here. Diamond grabbing a Lizard buff for, I believe, the 3rd time in the game. Although, actually, it could be a 4th if you count the kill on Kevin for first blood. Now, SK forced a last hit at turret, doing what they can to keep their gold and spirits high. They need to make a turnaround happen. Now, Ocelot has been having a pretty clean game. No deaths, despite 4 on his team overall. He's kept his nose pretty clean so far. He is farming pretty successfully overall, going for that Athene's Unholy Grail as soon as possible. Aura going to soak up some of that experience in the mid lane as he takes over the Golem. Going for the Wolves as well. He's going to be okay.
So still good warding by both teams, trying to keep those entrances to the jungle. A little bit of ward clearing there again by Diamond Prox. I don't believe we have the oracles yet on RNA. And they will be starting to lose a little bit of vision here. No turrets have been dropped as we reach the 14-minute mark in the game. 4 kills for Moscow 5 Ben Q right now, and about a 5,000 gold lead. Damage there coming in, Unstoppable Force to be the 2nd attack. There it is. It looks like Alex may be able to make it out of this one alive. Stranglethorn goes out. Just misses RNA as he still has movement speed from Shard, and it looks like they will try and split this one back and forth. Nobody goes down. A lot of ultimates used.
Yeah, nice shot there by Ezra. Popped out his true shot barrage. Actually, I believe he did nick Malphite right there as he retreated. He's like, oh, it's just a cooldown. I'm not using it in lane right now because SK's too afraid to fight me. So sure, I'll just help out in the mid lane. We'll see what happens. Didn't quite get a kill out of it, but still, it's a nice attempt there by SK. And I have to feel like if only Ocelot's ultimate had pulled Zyra toward him instead of away, they would have had the damage they needed because he would be farther away from his turret. They could have attacked Alex for longer. They would have had what they needed to pick up that kill.
Yeah, Malphite had to take a few too many steps. You kind of saw Ocelot back off after his ultimate as she did go the wrong way, but Malphite still initiating, They were able to throw each other around for a bit. We have Genja coming down in Yellowstar here. He does have Valkyrie, but Arcane Shift is also still up. And I like how he's just waiting. He played that safe, didn't panic. You know, if he would have done that, Ezreal may have just Arcane Shift flashed and still been on for the remainder of the time.
Yeah, ultimately just saving mana and whatnot. Actually going back into lane, this is a little bit scary here for Yellowstar. We'll see. We do have Aura there coming up as well to help that out. That will prevent any dives here from Moscow 5. So Yellowstar will be safe to last hit. This is his favorite, or at least his best champion here. Yellowstar on Corki. Definitely a favorite pick for this player. But Genja has been performing so phenomenally on Ezreal that I don't just know. He's been doing a great job so far, picking up kills and assists. And actually, Nif getting caught out for a 4th time, trying to heal himself over this Ignite. The Ezreal ultimate will hit him. Genja with sniper accuracy picks up another kill, making it 5-0 in Moscow 5's favor.
Very nice job. Well played in the mechanics by Genja, as well as Gosu Pepper, to just continuously pushing through that bush. No matter if there's a ward there or not, they took a little bit of too much free damage on SK's side, and that's continuously happening. They're not starting these fights with full health. They are getting tunnel visioned in their lanes. They aren't seeing these attacks come out. We saw Diamond Procs come down earlier. Once again, clearing wards. They're going to be able to do Dragon this time with completely their own vision. There, they finally see that other ward. And Arne is going to be on the other side. He may try to come in here. Arne having good luck with stealing objectives, but it's just not worth it this time. Looks like another Dragon going to Moscow 5.
Yeah, so M5 just constantly just accruing advantages. 6,000 gold in the lead for themselves. We've seen Kevin try to shove down this lane to the turret. As Shen had already burned his ultimate, Darien not able to regroup, had pulled himself down to the middle, went for the dragon kill as well, so he's missing out on a few minions. And actually you're seeing this minion score about tied, despite getting killed for first blood earlier on in this game. Kevin is keeping up in farm. He has that Philosopher's Stone to help him sustain in lane and generate a bit of gold as well. That will let him eventually scale ahead of Darien's Shen. But right now, Darien, of course, picking up assists with all of his movements around the map, and that first blood as well is still pretty fearsome overall.
Doing very well right now. You can just see how much Moscow 5 Ben Q is banging on the front door of SK Gaming, not giving them any chances. SK Gaming right now is having the worst start of any of their matches, 3,000 gold below their average.
And you can just see also with no kills and 5 deaths.
Yep.
SK, you know, they're not, it was a good opener, but we kind of saw how they fought against Counterlogic Gaming, where even things that started out poor, they were still able to turn these around. SK, you know, they haven't lost a map all tournament. They've been absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, of their, 4 map wins, 2 of them were come from behind wins.
Yes.
So, you know, at the time they started out losing and we're like, yeah, it's fine. And so, you know, I have to believe that they've got every chance to still come through this. The one difficulty for them, though, is really Diamond's Udyr. He got that first blood, turned it into an Oracle's Elixir, and he has killed so many wards. I've got to say more than 10. I would love if someone went back and counted this, but it's got to be like 12 to 13 wards he's killed so far. He's forcing SK, really the entire team, to run around this map blind.
Yeah, and we can see that we really haven't gotten the full potential of SK Gaming's fight lineup. We haven't seen the 5-on-5. We haven't seen their AoE effect. We have seen the Stranglethorn. We have seen a bit of the composition between her and Udyr. We have up top Kevin taking a little bit of harass. I think once SK Gaming gets into those fights, they have a little bit more of constant damage dealers than you have on the other team. Yes, Udyr can run around with Ezreal and do damage, but you have Orianna, whose auto attacks are going to a stack, as well as her cooldowns being just quite low towards the end of the game. And Kevin, as we've seen him in games before, running rampant on GP. Once they can get him in those fights, it's going to cause a lot more trouble, especially with Yellowstar on the outside.
Yeah, the ability to late game here for SK is absolutely great. They have a good amount of crowd control. They have amazing abilities to keep their teammates alive. And when you've got Yellowstar on Corki, that's a guy you really do want to keep alive. He's going to be really fearsome. He's trying to get his items up there. Looks like he's actually going for an Infinity Edge as his first major item. And that actually, at this point in the game, I think is a better choice than Trinity Force. Trinity Force is an amazing mid-game item. You need to supplement that with other items as you get into the late game. You're seeing him now in a fight with Genja. Genja already finished on Trinity Force, and oh, Nif for the 5th death. No, he's healing himself. Will it be enough? He's trying to juke away. The shield is on. Genja's ultimate is down. He's not going to get caught with this. And Alex, not making the correct turn to find him. Nice escape there by Nif, but Yellowstar alone. Valkyrie's away. There's a flash from Diamond. Unstoppable Force is going to lock that up, but Aura not in a good shape. Will get knocked into the air. Diamond lands the stun. Genja shows up. Diamond does pick up that kill, and there's the Ezreal ultimate, and it is
still gets her.
going to hit Nif.
Oh, no. You know, it was great, too, is she was using her ultimate while the Ignite was on, and she's like, this happened last time, I should move. Walks into it farther down the lane. Unfortunate there. Ocelot picking up some gold for his team, trying to close that gold gap. 7-0 at the 20-minute mark as Moscow 5 comes out strong.
Yeah, the 6,000 gold lead still there for them. The one good thing for SK is that now Nif isn't really worth any gold anymore. On a 5-death streak, it's going to be about 120, 130 gold. Yellowstar not really watching as he walked back into lane. Genja getting so much free damage. Trying the juke, will not juke the Mystic Shot, and he's one hit from dead, but the Gangplank ultimate going to force Genja to stop chasing. Ocelot now in a 1 vs 2, but he has Golem buff, which means he's able to run very, very fast. But Ghost Pepper is there and has something to say about this running. Diamond going to land the stun. He's not going to get rooted, but he is going to drop. And Gosu Pepper putting himself on the scoreboard, taking that kill off. And wow, everyone on Moscow 5 now.
They're just in the right spots at the right time. How often are you trying to escape through the jungle and you find Sona in a bush? Not very often. Moscow 5 is just playing this like they are in the minds of SK Gaming right now. Ocelot coming back in 20 seconds on this one. Actually used Cleanse and Flash to get out of that situation, but could not keep himself alive. 6,000, 7,000 gold lead exactly right now, as now they are 8 kills ahead. We're going to see Dragon in 1 minute.
Yeah, so right now, Morello's Evil Tome actually a surprising pickup here for Ocelot, but he really, really wants that cooldown reduction. Of course, cooldown reduction comes pretty much freely as you pick up a Golem buff here, as Alex East just did on Zyra. Yellowstar actually sent into a 1v2, knows that Shen is not the biggest bully in the game, so he might survive this, but his turret's so close to dead means he can't stick around. Darien just like looks at him funny, and away Yellowstar must run. Now he's got Nif here. Yeah, the full lane swap gonna happen here. They know this is difficult. They ping on. 4 members of SK Gaming are very nearby. Darien knocked into the air, slowed down by Nif. Can they get enough damage? Aranea is around. Will he go? Yes, there's the Unstoppable Force. Will knock up Darien. He's gonna keep trying with the slow. Kevin now here as well. Everyone around. 1 turret goes down. Can they chase down Shen? He's gonna have the dash again very soon, but he's been slowed again by Malphite. Now tanking under the turret. Knows he just needs to wait for this damage to come out. Ocelot now in here as well. Darien still tanking so much damage. Kevin finally putting in those last few blows. Ocelot picks up the kill. The Flash ultimate will miss. Genja will not pick up Ocelot. And SK with a 5 vs 1 eventually do pick up a kill here. Or a 4 vs 1, I believe Corki went back to base. And now Genja is left to push this bottom lane. Picked up 1 turret. Very nearly picked up a 2nd. Yellowstar will not like this 1v1 matchup though.
He did come back into lane, saw how much damage he took without really watching himself, so he doesn't want to start taking that. You can see Genja just trying to sit off to the side for Mystic Shots. Here's he takes down the turret, more gold and denied vision towards SK Gaming. And another turret goes down as they start dropping the complete outer tier and start on the 2nd. They only have the mid and top turret left to go here at 24 minutes into the match. Dragon is up, and as they deny that vision, they go towards the next objective. Once again, they may get their 3rd Dragon in a row.
Yeah, Moscow 5 are controlling everything on the map, and I think it's showing that it took 4 members of SK Gaming a very long time to kill off Darien. Now, the team here from SK, they are relying on a lot of different items right here. They've got a lot of early gold generation. Right now Ocelot is relying on a lot of cooldown reduction. He doesn't have any gigantic ability power items yet. He's working towards that death cap. He's going to get a little bit more damaging in the near future. And that is Moscow 5's main tank. But the point still stands. That was a 4 vs 1, and it took so long that the Ezreal almost took out 2 turrets. SK now, Kevin up at the top lane, still trying to keep himself afloat, getting some items. He hasn't died since that first blood, so in about 22 minutes, he's still been very, very safe. Ocelot only with 1 death as well. Really, if you discount Nif just getting pummeled by that Gosu Pepper Genja lane, everyone on SK is pretty safe here overall. It's just been the turret and dragon kills that's really snowballed Moscow 5 ahead. Everyone on that team just accruing advantages as a team by getting these major objectives.
Look at the amount of vision going on to SK Gaming side. There is 1 ward on the side of M5NQ. They have so many wards on the side of SK's jungle, and SK has been forced to ward their own jungle. They need to be able to make it around there safely. That's the vision I was talking about being denied by that outer ring of turrets. Moscow 5 is more than happy to start running through just behind Baron Den, just into SK's blue area. And we can see here Kevin continually battling it out with Darian top as they start to go for this Baron attempt. Looks like they do know that Oracle's on RNA as he does clear wards. Diamond looking to clear another one. He has over a dozen wards cleared versus SK right now. The attack comes out as Darian is on the other side of the wall. Looks like he could be in trouble here. Alexis flashes over, Stranglethorns 2 of the entire team, and it looks like they will be able to push them back off of this Baron. Possibly an attempt after this. Ocelot slowing down the chase. Looks like he may go down himself, and Alex hits it with the auto attack. Genja trying to chase but does not want to face check the bush. Already has the GA as well as the Triforce. 25 minutes in the game.
Yeah, just so many members of Moscow 5 are getting incredibly farmed. They've got 5 strong. Ara waiting around in the wings. Genja happy to 1v1 against him. He sees him now in that brush. He's going to open up Trinity Force. He's not landing the slow trigger just yet. He's not quite going to chase Genja out. But everyone else in Moscow 5 still getting this Baron down to half health right now. Alex Ish on Zyra, a great Baron killer overall with those plants. Genja choosing to come in again on Ara, doing as much damage. And there's goes, remember, Ignite is on. He busts ultimate away, but it's not going to matter. Sona picks up the kill, clears out his Oracle's Elixir, and Moscow 5 still killing this Baron right now. That will be theirs. 26 minutes in, they've killed the Baron. They're up 13,000 gold.
This is really turning into one of those cookie crumbles matches for SK Gaming. Ultimates, Ignite deaths, flashing to die. It's just not really in their favor. Not their fault. Moscow 5 BenQ is being so aggressive. A 2v1 situation. He doesn't even have any mana and they're running away from Genja right now. That Baron buff is keeping him so strong. Almost gets the kill. Can he walk in for one more auto attack? Howling Gale stops him and he's not going to waste the GA for the kill, but he does chase 2 members of SK all the way down mid lane.
Yeah, that was really well played, both by Genja and Nif. Genja kind of baiting them out away from his turret, happily taking some damage, knowing that he had so much defense that he wasn't going to fall anytime soon. Yellowstar did, I believe, dodge that Mystic shot that he needed to do, and then it was Nif with a nice heal from the ultimate, and then as Genja got too close, he landed the slow in the knockup, preventing that chase. Really well played there.
It looks like he will still have aggression on this turret. Darian also being very aggressive, trying to zone them out from defending this turret. A beautiful dash in. Nif will certainly go down here if they can get the next stun on. And there he goes. A beautiful shadow taunt coming in from Shen. And it looks like they will be able to move into this inhibitor turret as they have a full minion wave coming in behind them. It's not going to be a siege wave, so it may be cleared quite easily here by SK's composition. But it doesn't look like they care. They are going to take the damage of the turret after these minions go away. And it looks like they will have enough to do so. The inhibitor is now open. Corki forced a Valkyrie away as Genja once again out of mana, still being very aggressive. Yeah, Ocelot trying to use that long range to keep them off the turrets.
Yeah, with that Baron buff, of course, everyone does have some extra regeneration. In addition to extra attack damage and ability power, that is really fueling this push right now. They were already ahead in gold, but now they've got even more power. Aura's going to go in with the knock up there. Diamond taking a bit of damage. Genja low as well. Goes Pepper getting a little bit of flak in front of him as well. Darian up in the front. There's another kill up onto Niv. Ocelot up in the mix. He's going to drop as well. Darian still going in. Kevin getting dropped extremely low. He will fall. And now Aura and Yellowstar, the only 2 left alive. Diamond still harassing, actually. And now we can see as the pressure is still on, Moscow 5 going to ride a minion wave into the middle of the map right here. And they want to go for some damage onto the Nexus.
Moscow 5 showing true domination in this matchup. Oddly enough, SK got most of their wanted picks. The surrender vote goes out, and we bring it into a game 2.
Well, absolutely phenomenal play for Moscow 5. They did not let up the entire time. They just kept going, kill after kill after kill. They only gave up 1 in the end there, and it was in a 1 versus 4, where he said, yeah, okay, you got me. I'm just going to buy some time and let my team pick up the rest and, let them pick everything else. So we're going to watch that last game-changing fight here. Aura initiates in, but it's not going to mean too much. Kevin getting just jumped on, and there we go. Niv taking a bunch of bursts. The pull comes off. Genja gets low. Diamond and Ghosty Pepper getting low as well, but it doesn't matter. They just have so much damage that they can all get dropped to 1/4 health and then just keep going for the pain, keep going for the pressure. See Diamond walking back away from Aura, not caring very much. And of course, that has meant the Nexus kill.
You know, you can see Alex Ish, these guys are still talking. They said, yeah, we won, but there may have been some mistakes we do not want to make next game that SK Gaming could capitalize on. when you win a game like that, you still should seek out the imperfections. Yes, it was a win, but you learn more from those mistakes. Alex Each talking to his team, letting them know, great game, let's focus on these, let's bring it back around next time. We can see SK Gaming very focused, very determined, and I'm pretty sure they want to really jump into this next game right now.
Oh, absolutely. They're a top class team. They know how to play this game. They know what they did wrong. They know what to improve. I mean, they just yesterday convincingly dismantled one of the top teams in the world. They're a top 4 team at the OGN Champions Series. They're a top 3 here representing Europe overall in Season 2 and Season 3. And now you've got SK who said, look, this is the first map we've lost all tournament. We know we can change this around, and we're going to see just how they do that right after this break.